Yes, you're still on to E-Vibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. I hope you didn't miss me too much. And please, this popcorn, I hope you still have it. You still have it, it's still there. I want to give you guys another, yeah.
And simple.
No problem.
Well, I'm DJ Grand Fingers. I go by the name DJ Grand Fingers. My real name is Kingsley Aneke. I'm from Amokwe Udi. The area, Dijan. And what else do you want to know? I've been in the industry for about 30 years and managed my ups and downs. And that's what brought me to where I am today. Gods have called that you're supposed to come and take care of the oracle in your village and, hold songs in a party and it will still groove the party. But there are some new songs that have reigned and they are dead like that and when they play it, you now remember, oh, there was something like this, you understand? But it didn't last the test of time.
Okay, so you're saying the older songs have more, is it shelf life, I would call it, or more life to it?
More life, more understanding to the lyrics. The new songs you need to stay glued to TikTok before you can understand the lyrics.
TikTok, so I see you're conversant with social media.
Yeah, I am.
That's good. Like, you don't see so much of that as people go older, we don't see much of that. Okay, yes. Obviously, the equipment have changed in the past 30 years. The equipment have changed. So, what would you say you prefer? The older equipments, like the turntable?
Well, it's a matter of choice, though. But I started with the analog before it got to the digital. You know what I'm saying? When I started my DJing, there was this vinyl and turntable where you have to pick your pin and put on top of the vinyl while it's rolling. So you could do your tricks and everything on it now. So from then, we had a transformation to getting songs in your laptop and getting it played out there. Then some people created softwares like the virtual DJ that you can actually mix from one song to the other, thereby trying to phase out the turntable. You understand? But the real thing is, and the turntable, the laptop actually brought in a number of DJs because they found out that it made it easier. Unlike the analog type where you have to get a record for each artist, for each artist. We used to carry big boxes then.
Wow.
So now technology has made it easier for you to have all those songs in those big boxes in a particular chip that you can play like 1 million songs. Technology has brought in the turntable back again because there's this thing they call phase DJ. Is a magnetic device that you can place on your turntable without having to use the pin.
Okay.
So I'm still thinking of getting my turntable back.
Back.
Dusting everything and
So that means you are still telling us that your love for the turntable hasn't died.
No, it hasn't died. Turntable is a real thing. It's actually what, I don't know who invented the turntable and the DJ stuff, but the person did it basically for DJs. And that's why you can have some things you can manipulate to do some tricks on the turntable. Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about mixing techniques. Do you think that in the core skills of mixing, that the beats matching and everything, do you think it has evolved or they are timeless, regardless of the generation?
Yes, that's a good question. The first thing we started with was mixing from one to the other, scratching from one song to the other, blending from one song to the other, and that actually kept the party moving. But right now, the style has actually changed. Some people stop songs, say something, and put the next song. Some people just drop the next track from low to high, from high to low. You understand? As far as you know how to probably take care of the dead air where you want to blend into the next song, either with a scratch or hype.
Wow. Okay. So, can you tell us that what makes you know that this is the kind of music to play, like this is the genre of music to play in a party? Like, how do you make the choice?
Well, that is actually part of the ethics of the DJing industry. You understand? That's part of the things you have to learn as a DJ, apart from making your playlist and everything. When sometimes a client might not tell you the type of party, or it might be 5 at the same time, with your own discretion as a professional DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and can you tell us a bit of how you find like new sounds that might be amazing and just fit? How do you balance that?
Okay. Like they say in Igbo language, "Afioman alone."
In translation, first, please.
In translation, a good market sells, a good product sells itself. Gary, no, they do adverts, but they sell for market. So when you hear a good song as a DJ, your discretion will let you know that if I play this song, that people might walk out or people might dance. So if it's a song I want to test, I don't play it at the peak of my party. I start with it or probably end with it. After I must have shown them, yes, I am a good DJ, I've given you what I want, but listen to this song. You understand what I'm saying? But if the song is good and you know it's a good market that sells itself, you can blend it alongside some hit tracks. Watch the crowd. If they dance to it very well, you leave it for a while. But if not, immediately after the first verse, you switch into another hit track. That will keep the party going.
Okay. We are seeing a master DJ at work. Like he's telling us all these intricate details. Wow. It's. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. So now a lot of people prefer like a certain genre of music, and it now seems like some genre of music are dying down. Like now you hear more people listen more of Afrobeats than maybe high life. Just like there's now a trend. So how do you manage that as a DJ?
Well, as I said earlier, it's about your discretion. Yeah, I personally don't allow the genres of some hit tracks I have to die off. Sometimes I play Bob Marley and people still, vibe to Bob Marley. And after that, the next song I might play another Afrobeat. You understand what I'm saying? People still, the only thing I might not play is blues when you're supposed to start dancing. But if it's a mid-tempo that can keep you going, it's a mid-tempo that people can sing along to, you could just throw it in. When they sing along, you go into another genre. I play high life. After all, go is now really like people dance to it in clubs and lounges. So there's no limit to the genres of songs
that
I play in parties or anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the business side of things. You mentioned something earlier about an influx of a lot of DJs. Now that things are simpler, you're not using the turntables. So how has it been, like, market-wise for you now? Like, would you say it's still profitable to be a DJ, and would you say it's still a career worth going after, worth pursuing?
Yeah, you just said it all. It's a career worth pursuing. It's a career like me. It's actually my retirement package. You understand what I'm saying? Because imagine getting paid for making people happy. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. My job is to keep people on the dance floor. If you're having any sickness or any BP or anything, I calm it down. I make you dance away your sorrows. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something that I encourage people that wants to go into. know the ethics of the jobs, of the profession, know that we have ups and downs. Some people just jump into it because they feel there's money in it. There's actually more money in it now than before.
Wow.
You understand? That's why most people that started then, most of them are not DJs right now, because they felt nothing is coming out of it. But those that are into it now are actually making money. So if you know what you're doing, if you know your onions, if you know how to package yourself, you'll get there.
Because I was even about to ask that, how do I become distinct? Like how does a person make themselves different? Being that now a lot of people are DJs, you can see a lot of DJs. So how do I sell myself to be different than?
It's all about thinking outside the box. A lot of DJs play songs. A lot of DJs do different things. If you can think outside the box and create a niche for yourself, let people know, okay, this is what I do. Some people are actually only gospel DJs. When they come to parties and it's like a church thing, they keep people on the dance floor with just gospel songs, and they are known for it. I know one DJ, Alex, he's actually in US right now. He used to base in Abuja. So he gave me most of his gospel songs at hits parties. So that's why I knew him with that particular aspect. There are lots of DJs, even the current ones that are making waves, and I give kudos to them. DJ Funky, DJ Slim V, the way they package their website and everything, each event they go, they have a camera that comes with them, captures them. You understand what I'm saying? No, they create a niche out of whatever it is. That's why I said thinking outside the box. You mustn't do exactly the same thing they are doing. All you need to do is create a niche. I am so and so DJ. I am a versatile DJ. I can do anything. You know, do a short video, package yourself and put on the internet. People will see it and probably like it. You have your own fan base. You understand? You know, DJ Ernestino, a lot of people, you know, DJ Saint Wills, you know, a lot of people package themselves. So I give kudos to those people. Those ones I can remember and those I can't remember. But it's all about thinking outside the box. It makes you unique. I'm an advocate of being unique. That I stand out. I probably would want to create something that people want to copy and, you know. So I don't fight to belong. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. So I'm sure you participated in several DJ competitions, because I know they do exist. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, the one that actually brought me to the limelight was Benson and Hedges National DJ Championship that happened in 2001. It was done all over Nigeria, but because of the brand Benson and Hedges, it's cigarettes, so they were told not to do anything entertainment again, so that they won't encourage people to smoke or something. You understand? So that's why it's actually died down. But I came first in ENUGU. We did I actually won a mixer. Then we did the regional finals in Port Harcourt. I came third. Qualified for Lagos. The same Benson and Hedges. It's a national championship. Then in Lagos, I did not come first or third or second or third. So, but the fact is that I got into Lagos for the finals.
There was exposure for you.
Yes, that was when people started hearing about DJ Grand Fingers.
Okay. So let's talk about challenges. Do you think that the DJs that are coming now are facing as much challenges as the DJs of then, like the old school DJs?
Can you come again?
The new school DJs, do you think they face as much challenges as the old school DJs used to face?
As I said earlier, I will always refer to whatever statement I made earlier, that technology has actually made things easier. If you ask Good Noise, and I know he might be watching. DJ Good Noise, and a lot of some old school DJs that I started with, we suffered then. Seriously. There was no laptop. We'll carry turntables, we set up, carry speakers, set up. Now the next thing is the records, those vinyls, because there was nothing else to play with. There was, we'll carry the first carton, second carton, and await our master to say, okay, give me Shalama. He will only do his hand like this. And
okay, so they used to have assistants.
Yes.
Wow.
We had mentors then that we learned from. So when you go, you set up for them, they will just come.
We'll round up because we don't have so much time.
Okay.
I want you to just give an advice to upcoming DJs. As someone that spent 30 years of his life doing this thing, so I know there are some wise words of wisdom that you'd have for someone coming in.
Yeah. There are lots, but I will still cut it short. First of all, you have to love what you're going into. First of all, you have to love what you're going into. Let me give an instance to cut everything short. There was a time I was driving to Owerri. I met a police checkpoint, and the police that stopped me was a former DJ. I don't want to call anybody's name, but I asked him, what's in happen now? He told me that this job, no, they favor me. My papa can't say, make I jump police. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So you have to love what you are going to, knowing the fact that you have all odds against you. My parents did not want me to be a DJ. It's a pity they are not alive to see what I am today. My dad said he wanted me to be a doctor. My mom, everybody, they did not want me to be a DJ because way back then, DJs were like dressing shabby with singlets. They feel the job is a dirty job, so let me go and finish the job and take my bath. It was when it came to this particular part of the generation that everything changed. So you have to love what you're doing. Get ready to face the ups and downs in as much as going into it. Package yourself, know the ethics of the business, be honest in what you're doing. It will make your clients or your fans like you. I have a long list. But I just have to say the ones I remember right now for the sake of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, which era do you prefer? The old school and the new school?
I'm kind of standing in between the fence now because a lot of things, like I actually have a project I'm about to do which has to do with this right now because I'm trying to blend old and new together, So I will be doing it alongside my colleague DJ FX2.
Wow.
Yes, so that will be after our events, the Night of the Legends. Very soon we are going to have it. We're planning it, but we don't know the date yet. We don't know venue, but we're trying to bring the old and new together. Yeah.
So you guys should look forward to this event. It's been lovely having you here, DJ Grand Fingers. Yes, I know. How will I forget the legend's name? No. It's been lovely having you here and learning about DJing and really seeing from the old school and the new school.
In fuel pump price, which is very high, it's affecting the spending habits of citizens. It's making it very hard. If fuel subsidy is to be really introduced, I think it will make spending habits of consumers to be less, and the unit price of commodities will reduce. Because the transportation costs will reduce, which will make life easy for us to live.
It's really an issue that has been lingering for a very long time now. I remember coming down here to this venue today and I saw the queue in the NNPC filling station, and I feel that this is part of the reason why we're having the hike in prices of things. And something can be done. The NNPC can do something about this to make sure that fuel is readily available to every part of Nigeria.
Like now, I'm doing business, and I want to purchase something. I can't buy it normal price. The price will go higher, and at the end of the day, I cannot even get what to eat. I cannot see money to buy what I will eat with my baby. So it's really very hard for us to survive.
The issue is quite alarming and so disheartening because most of us have a lot of things to do. Like where you used to go to 200 is now 500. Where you used to, somebody that is an average worker, maybe a sales girl that is being paid 30K. Imagine your transport fare every day. You might just, half of your money will be gone for just transportation. It doesn't only affect our transportation, it also affects our daily living. The thing used to, even biscuit, that one hurts me. I'm seriously saying it. Biscuit I used to buy 16 naira is now 120. And 150 one is now 300. Imagine students like us, how we are going to be surviving and how we are going to be managing ourselves. Some of us in school, they are the one catching for ourselves. So when you combine these two school activities and daily living, it's quite alarming.
To be honest, me, in school, I trek from the hostel to the gate because the transport fare was 17 naira, but now it is 150. So the increment is is so overwhelming that I prefer trekking. Like I rather trek than to spend 150 naira. It's a lot on transport, and the distance is actually so short compared to what it was before. So aside transportation, it has also affected the cost of feeding. Yes, because if you want to if you want to buy pepper now, pepper that was let me say 15 naira, it's just for 200 naira. Now I don't know what it is now. So both feeding.
Good morning and welcome to Signature Morning on Signature Television. Today is 30th then the month of October, and this is a Wednesday. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're having a very beautiful morning out there. So this morning we'll be bringing you up to speed to what is happening around you on the newspaper headlines, the newspaper review, and interviews and every other thing, entertainment, business, and sports. You don't want to miss any part of this programs. My name is Belinda Mwobodo.
My name is Charles Pius. Thank you so much for joining in on the show. It's a packed show as usual. I mean, for those who have been following the update as relates to the death of the Ogene musician that happened some few days back, we will touch on that. And there are so many legal issues as it relates to that. There are still some
Welcome back. You see on to Signature Morning. I will be bringing you the newspaper headlines this morning. We're starting off with the Punch newspapers this morning. And just above the marks, 17 northern states blackouts to end November 12th. That's from federal government.
Again, NNPC hikes petrol price, fixes 1,060 naira per litre. With the rider refinery faults fuel imports, as Tinubu summons Edun, Dangote and Carry.
Stop ad hoc dollar auctions, World Bank tells CBN.
2025 budgets. Tinubu submits MTEF to National Assembly next week.
32 states got 55% of revenue from FAC. says report.
Anti-party. Arebeshola camp mom as APC suspends ex-governor.
Lagos Calabar Highway, Lagos community homeowners fought route diversion. That's all from the Punch this morning. Quickly to the Guardian newspapers. State poor IGR raises fiscal sustainability concerns. That's on the page 6.
Documentation stalls ministerial nominee screening.
Federal government seeks regional cooperation against small arms. IED threats.
Petrol consumption hovers at 50 million litres per day amid deregulation and smuggling.
Naira for crude. Tinubu seeks stakeholders' understanding as fuel price rises.
Federal government seeks regional cooperation against small arms IEDs threats.
Stakeholders urge caution review of tax bill for consensus.
Telcos losing billions of naira to vandalism as NCC audit shows subscription shortfall.
Nigeria, U.S. set up early warning situation room for conflict resolution.
Moving over to the Daily Trust's newspaper this morning, just above the, just below the mast, apparently, on the left side, Ocean APC suspends Arebeshola over anti-party activities.
Government said Tinubu unveils armed forces remembrance emblem.
We're moving over to the blueprints this morning. Expect temporary relief in 72 hours. Permanent solutions in 14 days, says the federal government.
Niger Assembly raises the alarm over 8 bandit camps in Kogangora.
Ikweche to face reps ethics panel says, I'm sorry. I mean, this story is just crazy, but it's all good.
With Naira for crude deal, there will be all
over 1,000 Naira in Nigeria.
Okay, we'll leave that to our reviewer to throw more light on it. Airport construction, Senate approves 24 billion Naira refund to KB and Nasarawa. Sales in Lagos for 1,025 Naira, 1,060 Naira in Abuja. Experts react. Revolt against petrol pump increases. CSO urges Nigerians. Tinubu Dangote asks stakeholders in all industry to stop reliance on importation.
Bandits take over military camp in Niger.
MPA halts container release at Apapa port due to severe congestion.
I was stunned and I was like, I mean, who does this kind of thing? Like, you anticipate EFCC's move. Like, you are telling EFCC, you're telling court to stop EFCC from probing you when you are done from your tenure. As if he is anticipating that there are people who are pressing some buttons against him.
Yeah. APC suspends Arebeshola. That's on the page 3.
All right, terrorists preventing electricity restoration in the north. A deputy Senate president speaks.
Network disruptions. FCCPC warns banks want swift service restoration.
All right, we've come to the end of the headlines on the dailies this morning. Our reviewer is in the house. Mr. Chris, thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning, Belinda.
There's a whole lot.
Day, yeah.
Indeed, another day, really. So many things to basically
talk about.
Ikweche has apologized. We have seen this trend before because, again, we've seen the senator representing Adamawa at some point, doing the same thing, slapping somebody in a sex toy shop in Abuja. After a few days of the video being released, they apologize, and then you would wonder, what if these videos are not released? Because the bad part of this is, if this thing wasn't broadcasted online, I'm not sure we'll be having this discussion in the first place. Maybe the guy would have disappeared. We'll be having this discussion in the first place. Maybe the guy would have disappeared.
Well, we're giving so much emphasis on it. A lot of Nigerians disappear with their crimes when they are noticed. you'll be surprised what many Nigerians do in their privacy that nobody knows.
Nobody knows really.
I said, all lizards are lying prostrate. It's only when there's one, you won't know which one is suffering from belly ache. It's only once in a while you find one that lies like this, you say, this one has died of belly ache. But most Nigerians are fantastically corrupt and they do so many bad things. And now, when these ones come out of the open, we normally say the cops. Because it means this person who did this wasn't the first time he's doing this. It wasn't the first time somebody like Ikweche will tell you, do you know how I am? So he looks like somebody who is puffy and his ego is, high up there. But that's by the way. His ego is, high up there. But that's by the way. What you are saying, a story of a man in a village near mine, it's not in my village, but what happened is that this man was having a fight. And he gave the opponent a very big blow, and the man lost his sight instantly. So he went to a beer parlor, sat down with his friend, and said, I gave that guy one is one blow. I gave the man one blow. Issues that come out with the football.
Actually, right.
Just praying that that doesn't affect his position, because a lot of Nigerians are mad. In this time of hunger and hardship, and you are talking about being a member of the Federal House of Reps, where people sit down and talk nothing. And a young Nigerian is struggling to survive, and they come and receive slaps from you for nothing. And they think you can just say, I'm sorry, is enough. You should go. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not involved, please. But I don't think to be sorry, it's just the first step. To be sorry is not enough to solve what I have had. We have given it to you. You are human. But the kind of woman you are, you're not supposed to be a member of the Federal House of Reps. If this is the kind of human being you are.
Actually, I read the apology, he sent on the social media. People, we are saying you have to go to apologize to the man himself. That it's because of his position that he came out to apologize to the general public. They said it's not enough. He still has
That's
to go
why I said
it's
just a starting point. He just started. And he has to take apologies to different levels and then follow it up with what goes with apology. Because in Nigeria now, if at this level I am, you give me 3 heavy slaps and even smash my phone and threaten to delete me.
With the
and you come and make an apology in the public open. They will demand a statement that if anything happened to me in the next 20 years, he will be responsible. And he has to sign it.
Yeah.
He has to sign undertaking. And then some people are even saying, let the man be probed. It's not by accident that he knows how to delete people. With just 50 million. Who knows how many he has deleted? God help him. This legendary story of a tortoise said, when fight start, what the bigger places, the one we are talking about. So let's hope that he comes out of it, and if he fails to delete, he will pay for it.
I'm just really excited about how the social media was used to get this out, because every now and then we hear the bad things about social media, how social media is used to do bad things. People deceive people, make people travel from where they are to where they aren't supposed to go to using social media. People get hypnotized, so to speak. But I'm also excited also giving the good part that social media played in this whole thing.
Social media exists like everything on earth. It has the positive side and the negative side. If you are the negative man, and Charles, I know you are not, if the negative people look at the negative angle and exploit it, then the people what social media in this era has done, if you put it on the weight, you find out that the good side of it outweighs this bad side of it, just like everything on earth. So let's not talk about that. You're giving room to people who come into positions of authority, using social media to even replace the former government. And when is their position, because they have something in mind, they're even nursing the idea of gagging the social media. And that's where God kept them. It's not the traditional media, Radio Nigeria, NTA, all those, Voice of Nigeria. this campaign. If it's only in 2024 that billion suddenly, and the people that the White House realize that Nigeria need to be permanent, they just support. And I think America is one vote. Let them go out, convince all the other people they control, the way they control Nigeria, to vote Nigeria to be in the permanent position. It will be a walkover.
Right. Right. The elections are just in a few days. I think we'll talk about that a little later. But let's delve a little bit into our oil sector. I want you to listen to this video by Dangote. Dangote was at the presidential villa yesterday, and he had a meeting with the president and the NNPC chair. I just wanted to watch it, and I will get your reaction afterwards.
Irresponsible. But what I'm saying is that the retailers should please come forward and pick. If they don't come forward and pick, what do you want me to do? That's nothing that I can do. So I am expecting either NNPC or the marketers to stop importing. They should come and collect. We have what they need. And, as they remove, I'll be pumping. I don't know whether you understand what it takes to have 1 billion liters inside our tank. It's costing me money. Every day, if I will be able to collect the naira, I can actually charge somebody 32% in interest. So right now, that's what I'm losing. And you are talking about 500 billion. We don't print money, but the issue is that if they come and collect, then you will not see any queues in the filling stations. We have what it takes for them to come and collect. We are not retailers. We also don't have trucks to send. We have a factory where we can load. If they come and pick, they will go and distribute. And they've been doing that with importation. So if they have been doing that with importation, if it's true they are doing 55 million, I see no reason why they won't come and collect and distribute.
Chris, this is another problem. I really don't understand the oil sector. The more you try to understand it, the more confusing it gets. With this revelation this man is giving, what's your take on this latest development?
They are still talking about how it benefits them. And the oil sector in Nigeria is about, everybody picks from the angle it benefits him. The marketers are still not seeing the viability where they hold Nigerians down and make Nigerians buy at the price they want to. And that's where I keep blaming Dangote. If at this price he will say, I have given this fuel to Nigerian exporters at this price, and they are not coming forth to pick. So me and you will know where the problem is coming from. Because he is a man, he has some billions of liters that is costing him so much
to keep.
And if we take 32% of that, we keep importing and sell it, putting it on Nigeria, and the NNPCL is complicit. NNPC, you are complicit to what Nigeria is suffering today when it comes to this. You were importing before at a high price. You told us the landing cost, Nigerians were paying. You removed the subsidy, Nigerians were paying. God want to answer a prayer. A Nigerian high refinery that is functional and modern. You still want to buy the person to sell at the price you are importing. It's not a title. A marketer is somebody who markets any product. Anybody can be a marketer.
Absolutely.
So why are they formed association of marketers who want to hustle Nigerians to death?
Yeah, because if it's on that particular high price,
yes,
anybody who imports will still make gain. So the only thing is that if they buy from Dangote, who probably refine here in Nigeria, and sell at a lower cost, they will have to sell lower than what the landing cost.
The dog disleads the graph to the circle of doom. These people are running around just on 200 million Nigerians. We kill all of them. And I'm sorry to say, because Nigerians have given up. There's no cars on the street again. People are pulled up. We have red headlines where they say people, it's not even, the fuel market, the downstream people, some of them are not getting patronage again. So they can't even go and buy 33,000 liters or tank truckload of fuel alone. And I suggest to them, let them When things were good in Nigeria, some few people will come together every month, put money together, kill a cow, and they put store in their fridge. When it's over, they put money together again. If one person can kill one cow, or even people come together to kill goat and share, so that they will have meat in their food. So let 5 downstream retailers of fuel go put money together, buy one tanker. When they come, they share. What are they telling us? So because the thing is trickling down, they have an NPC filling station all over. There was a time they were even licensing and giving people license to, they were changing their private filling stations to NNPC so that it will sell at the price they want every Nigerian to buy. If somebody has done this kind of investment, if you come with the one he has is investing in truck for CNG, you have a product that is lying billions of liters and nobody use that same money to put mega filling stations in cities across Nigeria, be sending food directly to them. Again, it will ease off, because if people sleep over at any Dangote filling station somewhere in Enugu to buy at 500 naira, then the NNPCL only selling 800 and 955. Then other filling stations around were selling 1,200. The choice will become obvious.
Yes.
If that's when you're talking about deregulating the market. Yes. So Nigeria will see deregulation of market of oil and gas in practical terms, just like they did for telecom.
Yes.
Why are they still doing this to Nigerians?
I mean, they're the same people that supplied to Dangote for refining.
And he has not left our president, who is the minister of oil. He's not totally out of, because the buck stops on his desk. If he wants this problem solved, let him.
Discuss in this meeting, because meetings are supposed to be a place where you bring up the issues, state the problems, talk about the problems, and then solve the problems. I really don't know. The meeting yesterday was just basically NNPC, Dangote, and then at the end of the day, the president said that he would allow NNPC and Dangote to solve the issues and make sure that whatever decisions they have taken would be to the benefit of Nigerians. What does that even mean?
Does regulatory organization get involved in selling? Regulatory organization get involved in selling? We have regulatory bodies for broadcasting. We have for telecom. We have for electricity. They can only come and say the price you fix, Nigerians can't afford it. And they try to get a balance. What is the role of NNPC? That's what I don't understand. Because if they have their 4 refineries, major refineries in Nigeria, and they're refining and they're selling, they will tell Nigerians at our own price, this is what we are greening out this world. They can't do that for almost 20 years. And they have any money. They even have markups because of inflation at that high. You know what it means to work in NNPC? That's from MD down to the security men working in NNPC. In Nigeria, the status, salary-wise, they're still earning the same money. For 20 years, no, they're importing. And then bring back sell to us. So NNPC has got a marketing company. We have a president who is the minister of oil. Do what you do with electricity. You have TCN. You have the EEDC, the distributing sites. So that we even have the one that is generating the power. If NNPC is not generating power, what are they still doing there? It's not generating fuel. You're not refining. You're not.
Absolutely.
So if it's only crude, the
attention by the NNPC shifted more to, what happens in the exports of, or import and export of oil. That attention should be driven to, getting our refineries to come on board. But that way, they'll be able to compete with Dangote, who is the private sector, in order to get things done.
They never wanted to do that. So if they don't want, they want our refineries to go moribund. Very soon they will think about selling it to people. Let them even go and do PPP. With all the 78 or what they call it, refineries in Europe that have interest in what's happening in Nigeria. They are owned by some Nigerians, have interest in that. If NNPC deregulate their refineries, people will buy. They will still maintain holding shares. I mean, controlling shares. People will invest and insist on what the market comes. So you find competition taking care over time. Dangote will be selling his own. Then those ones will come into business, and if he still give them crude at Naira, for all these are refineries, and people put their money to him, Nigeria will be soon. You mentioned Angola. Who did this to Nigeria? Who did this to us? What is our offense? What did we offend? You know, because if they had handled the Dangote issue, they might even tell Dangote, if you have billions of liters, this is one more. They say Nigerian consume 55,000 million, which is neither here nor there. If they do the recent, let NIBS, Bureau of Statistics, do a research and tell how much liters we consume now. They will be shocked that we don't consume up to 20 million.
Absolutely, as it stands now, yes.
And those 20 millions are consumed by the state houses. And their depot.
And their
and their retinue of expensive cars that you use 500,000 to follow. But they know that whenever I hear there is God, though, I now ask myself, don't these people who sit in this position of authority hear this God, though?
But with what is happening, do you see Dangote anytime, exporting oil outside?
If he is costing so much to store, he will export. But that's what these people are playing around for him to do, so that they will have reason to say they will import. They will still export. Export means selling to international country. And remember that Lome, Togo, is international company. Ghana, Benin Republic is international. So they run robin. They can even pipe across the sea, go there, collect, bring it back and sell to, so that they make sure they make us buy fuel at 5,000 naira. They know what they are doing.
It's a deliberative.
It's a simple thing. With what Dangote has said, it has in store now. When they push it to the Nigerian market, everything trying to reach some people to come and tell us what's happening. It was when I realized that NASU is the junior level of SANU. The Senior Association of Nigeria is the senior level. The NASU are those ones those junior officers that work at the university level. And they are the small acts that can cut any university real bad and before. If you need universities and ENUGU, deal with NASU. My popular word of non-academic students, I got, until somebody says non-academic staff. Now, if they close down universities, you know what that means? Like joke. Some people are supposed to take second semester exams. They will never take it. And the Nigerian, it has started. I've told you, Nigerian government, why are they doing this to Nigerians? Yesterday, no work, no pay. And I said, threats cannot work now. These people gave warning that they will go on strike. It's only when they have closed down university you are invited them. Your action is already late because your children are not in these universities. You do what you want to do. You are even invited them now. Now, another headline today said that SANU and NASU said they have not even been reached. So before the federal government or the Ministry of Health or those panels that go there to drink coffee in the name of deliberation, and they will deliberate, and the next thing you hear is deadlocked. NASU warned federal government, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Labor and Employment, if they swear, let them come tomorrow, the deadline, or the newspaper, and they make a release that SANU did not tell them they will go on strike. They didn't give them one inside. They will make sure they police these labor unions until they go on strike, and they will begin deadlocking discussions. And our children will continue to suffer and suffer. Somebody will go into university, you remember, the only thing you remember in Nigerian university system, federal university system in Nigeria, is the day you enter. When you go out, only God knows. If it's not SANU, it's NASU. If it's not SANU, NASU, it's ASU. Even when you finish with that, oh God. And some people who are in some regions of Nigeria, you will find sit at home today, sit at home tomorrow. Some students, even in some places, are one is one kind of flogging. Because I don't know the age of the young person. Even Nigerians who have committed offense and they're supposed to be flogged in the prison, nobody. In some cultures, when they flog people for offense, I've not heard of somebody receiving 129, is it 169 strokes of cane.
The students was
I think it's not just to suspend teacher. That man should be brought and taken to psychiatric school, hospital. I think something is wrong. Something is wrong. For some, are you sure the man is a human being? Because foreign countries, there are people that go overseas, they are psychologists and they say what they call it. They don't use this stigmatization word on it. They call it that you're supposed to go for checks for mental health and balance. A lot of Nigerians with the hunger and hardship has even gone the other side. This teacher, if you check him very well, he has just poured the venom of what Nigeria has stored, pent-up venom of what Nigeria has done on an innocent child. And only something sparked it.
We don't actually know whether the
students... I'm just saying my own. There's
is.
No reason any normal human being will do this. We are looking at, when events like this, you go to meet a consultant. What makes a consultant? You say, doctor, I have a headache. He will say, Charles, has somebody in your house ever, or your generation, or up to 10 generations, suffered madness before? You're like, hey, what is the link with headache and madness? Now we say, answer my question if you want. That's what makes him a consultant. By the time he puts questions to you and you answer, you have solved the problem by yourself. You don't know. And when he gives you a recommendation, you say, hey, this doctor is a wizard. That's what makes the difference between consultants and ordinary doctors. If you get to this man and start asking, you might say, do you have any issue with Ogun State? You will say no.
It's a child rather than even flogging these days. Different punishments, different punishment styles. I don't believe in inflicting pain on a child for them to listen to you.
Yeah.
Different ways you can speak to the child is different ways you can, react in such a way that the child will know that this is what they shouldn't do or what they should do at a particular
Well, Charles, we will second you to Ogun State as child counselor and advisor on child training abuse, and so that you will help them, so that such teachers will not spring up again in Ogun State or any part of Nigeria. We reject such things. Teachers should discipline their students, but balance. It's balance that sorts things out. Not get a small child. You don't know these children coming from a parent, some of them have not eaten for days.
Okay.
With this hardship and hunger, you come
Mr.
and give him
Chris.
129 strokes of cane. That's suicidal. That is killing. That is everything bad.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris, for your time this morning. That's the most we can take for the review. We keep on talking about these issues. And right now, we'll be going for a short break. When we'll come back, we'll bring you all the programs lined up for you. You don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. This is Signature Television. A few days ago, news broke that Iboja has been killed in a mysterious manner. I mean, when you hear killing, you would think maybe an armed robbery attack or maybe somebody had an accident or something. But no, it was another case of the police brutality. This time around, it was from an inspector of police shooting indiscriminately against Iboja that led to his death. The circumstances around that particular story is still something that is under wraps. There hasn't been any clear thought about the day he was killed, Friday the 27th. Apparently, was at a police anti-cult environment. You know, you could see in the video with him and his entourage hitting the drums and even entertaining the leaders of the anti-cult at the time. So after that, what happened? The police says they are investigating the matter, but even up until this moment, the inspector who was involved in that shooting has been dismissed and been put into custody. But is that even enough? We have Barrister Sidi Ogbe, who has been following this issue and other issues as it relates to police brutality and the attendance issues. Barrister Chukwunonso Ogbe is live with us. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. My pleasure.
Another unfortunate incident, one that you would say that, where do we go from here really? I don't know if you have gotten the accurate account of what really happened, because it's still a shocking incident. What have you been listening to? What have you been hearing about this development?
Anyway, what I will say is that the last is yet to be heard as far as the circumstances surrounding the untimely demise, or better still, the gruesome murder of Iboja is concerned. And I can assert emphatically that it's only when the defendant, or better still accused person in this case, is given an opportunity to give his evidence in court, that's when we will now, to a great extent, be in a better position to know what actually happened. Apart from the defendant, because I will no longer refer to him as a suspect, being that he has been arraigned in court and he has accordingly been remanded in custody. Going by, I believe he must have volunteered his statements before he was arraigned in court. And from the statements which he volunteered vis-a-vis the line of action that the prosecution will took in presenting that statement to the court, when it is time for him to be prosecuted at the High Court, that is when we may now be in a better position to have a glimpse on what may have transpired at the anti-court unit. In which case, I wouldn't know if there was a case of maybe infirmity of the mind on the part of his assailant, whether something came over him, because these are realities of life. Even in law, I know as a fact that there are those who ordinarily should be held guilty of the offense of murder, because of some other circumstances surrounding the particular facts of their case, they may be held guilty of lesser offense, maybe for the offense of manslaughter or similar offenses, as opposed to the offense of murder. Because assuming there was confrontation from what we saw between the deceased and maybe the officers and men of the Nigerian police force in that particular outfit, that's when you will now say that maybe because of that confrontation, then some other development took place in that environment, which we are not privy to. But as I said, let's wait and see what happens, because both the state, in this case, contextually, the prosecution and then the defendants, they will have their days in court. They will come forward to tell their stories, and necessary questions will be asked for the world to actually know whether there was a case of premeditated murder or a case of carelessness on the part of the officer who is now facing trial. So, or maybe that the officer acted based on the spur of the moment, or that he acted based on circumstances beyond his control. We will know at the end of the day, but it's quite an unfortunate one. So I won't, as I noted earlier, I won't actually tag this a case of extrajudicial killing in the true sense of it, because he wasn't arrested, to the best of our knowledge.
Okay, but what you know, what would you say, led to what that day of his murder?
What I will say is that on a professional note, I think the officers and men of the Nigerian police force, they erred by allowing even the deceased Iboja, his entourage, to embark on exactly, in a police station where you have men who are armed, because one may now start raising the insinuation whether the officer was drunk Because it's possible in a joyous environment like that, when the officers were happy, we saw some of them dancing. And there's another video clip that I saw. I wouldn't know that video clip also emanated from that environment, where the deceased, while plying his trade with members of his group, he was seated on a chair, and there are some drinks on top of the table. So I wouldn't know if in the course of the celebration that there are some officers, decided to take good care of themselves. And the deceased, on a more serious note, happened to be a talented artist. So you wouldn't really tell maybe why acting under the influence of alcohol. You wouldn't tell whether maybe the officer in a joyous moment being influenced by this kind of alcohol that has been consumed may have acted in a strange manner that led to the demise of the young man. So unintentional act. But let's wait and see what happens at the end of the day. And I also know that some persons have raised the issue of the possibility of about either 6 or 8 rounds of ammunition being released into the body of the deceased. Yeah. But some other person has also come forward to explain how AK-47 rifle, how the workings of AK-47 rifle, that is an automatic gadget, in which case once the run button is pressed, it's not like the ordinary conventional maybe rifles that you have to fire on intermittent basis before there be response. That once the run button is pressed, series of ammunitions could leave the gadget within a space of less than a minute. So that may be what actually happened. But by and large, there should be a dispassionate appraisal of what happened. And if you ask me, I will also say that the government somehow may not have gotten it right at this juncture, going by the hasty manner in which investigation was conducted. The man arraigned in court and remanded, because in the course of doing that, some blunders may be committed. Whenever you are in a haste to attend to some legal assignments, chances are that mistakes may be made. It is said that justice delayed is justice denied. Likewise, justice hastily served is also justice denied. So there should be a striking of balance between not being indolent and also between not being too hasty in order to ensure that the proper thing is done. So I wonder the possibility, because ordinarily, in my own thinking, there should have been even a forensic examination of the bullets used. An autopsy should be conducted. These are some of the things that should have been done before the defendant will be arraigned. But I wouldn't know if such a thing was done. It's possible that autopsy may have been conducted because of the interest of the government in this particular matter. So it's when we now get to court, we will now get to know the facts of the case and the steps that were taken by the government of the day prior to the arraignment of the officer. But by and large, if in the course of trying to satisfy public opinion, the government now acted hastily, in arraigning the defendants in court, we may end up having a situation whereby people may come back tomorrow to say, wow, judiciary has let the man off the hook. If at the end of the day this matter comes to court and maybe the defense team now discovers some loopholes in the case of the prosecution, and if that should be the case, then in the true sense of it, it's not within that justice has been done.
Okay, I would want to ask, at what point would you say that release of ammunition on a civilian or at a civilian becomes unintentional? Because according to what you just narrated, even if it's automated rifle, you should have, sparked to other people around, but was particularly targeted at this particular deceased man. So at what stage would you say that release of ammunition, maybe by mistake and all of that, would be, coined as unintentional?
The test in law is the test of a reasonable man. There is no hard and fast rule to this particular issue. In other words, what applies to fact A may not apply to fact B. You have to look at the facts and circumstances of a given case. In which case, this question will be asked as to what will be the opinion of a right-thinking man in the circumstance of that of a given case. For instance, if while being in possession of a rifle, then an officer maybe or the person in possession of the rifle now mistakenly, not negligently, mistakenly now found himself in a situation whereby the rifle, because in which case in law you are expected to shoulder the responsibility for any consequences that will emanate from your action, or any consequences that is envisaged will emanate from your action. It's just like maybe if you decide to jump from a 3-story building because you believe you are a gallant officer, while believing that you will not die. If you jump from that story building and if anything happens to you, a case of suicide or attempted suicide will accrue, because the logical inference that will be drawn is that if you should toe that line of action, that what happened is bound to happen. So why being armed and in the company of other persons, you decide to get drunk? Then a case of murder, vis-a-vis other facts and circumstances of the case that be put forward by the prosecution, could be registered. But for instance, in the course of trying to apprehend a criminal who in law it is
garnered, do you think there's any significant change in the behavior of police when they are relating with people, the young people of Nigeria today?
Anyway, the point there, as I noted earlier, I have to revert to the issue of Ibuja in addressing this question. Ibuja's case may not be regarded as a case of extrajudicial killing in the true sense of it, subject to whatever will happen in court at the end of the day. But by and large, I'm able to say that the line of action that the government of the day has taken so far, when I mean government contextually, including the authorities of the Nigerian police force, in redeploying the head of this tactical unit, being the anti-court unit in Enugu State, is to say the least hypocritical. I say this because prior to now, I believe there have been series of complaints against the officers and men of the Nigerian police force in this particular outfit. And the government of the day kept mum. Even there is a particular case that was decided by the High Court of Enugu State, in which the officer who was redeployed in the person of now SP Chidobe Ekeleme and another officer in the person of Mr. Jude, they were found culpable by a court of law here in Enugu State of being involved in the extrajudicial killing of one young man known as Chika Chukwuonwe, a native of Amore in Nkano West Local Government Council of Enugu State here. Apart from the fact that this judgment was delivered by a court of competent jurisdiction, the presidency was notified about the pendency of that judgment. Some other, even the police authorities here in Enugu, they were formally notified. Yes, nothing happened. The officer remained in his duty post. Now, this is one out of the numerous instances of cases of extrajudicial killing. The point is that the Nigerian police is a creation of the law. And these officers, they are not above the law. But if you take a look at the history of the Nigerian police, obviously, the Nigerian police, during our, prior to our getting independence as a sovereign nation, was an institution established for the purpose of subjugating the Nigerian people. The Nigerian police wasn't created for the conventional roles being played by the police of maintaining law and order in any given society. Rather, the police was actually created as an instrument of subjugation. Now, when we gained independence, the indigenous Nigerian leaders also embraced this philosophy. And that's why many policemen have been embarking, I wouldn't want to make a generalized indictment, but I'm speaking contextually, the police as an institution. Many officers and men of the Nigerian police force, they have embraced the practice of extrajudicial killing and intimidation and subjugation of the Nigerian people because the leaders of the Nigerian nation are comfortable with this practice. Because the leaders of the Nigerian nation see this outfit as a tool to be used in subjugating the Nigerian people, and not basically for that geared towards ensuring that there is maintenance of law and order in the Nigerian society. And that's why, even here in Enugu State, if you conduct discrete investigation, you will find out that most of these tactical units, like the anti-kidnapping and anti-call, that there are cases of extrajudicial killings going on in these outfits. I say this as a lawyer. I say this because in the course of doing my work as a lawyer here, I've had the opportunity to interact with some persons, maybe directly or indirectly, who have had cause, to be. He was alleged and he was then apprehended. After he was apprehended, there were 2 in number that were apprehended. Thereafter, the family members of the young man couldn't trace his whereabouts any longer. Initially, police authorities denied knowing about his whereabouts. But after a series of investigation, somehow they owned door bets without giving any information as to what became of the young man. It was when the matter now came to court that they now admitted that he has been killed, but they now gave one flimsy reason. In fact, they claimed that his rivals killed him. But from the evidence placed before the court, it was discovered that he was actually killed by those policemen. In fact, directly under the control of now SP Chidobe Ekeleme. And the police was represented in that matter. So that evidence was established that they actually we are responsible to approach that NSAS panel. The NSAS panel sat, complaints and petitions were entertained. As I speak, the white paper is here to be released. The government of the day is here to do anything about the NSAS panel report in Enugu State. And governments, they continue. We talk about social contract theory, that people surrender their sovereignty to the state for the state to act as a trustee for the benefit of the citizenry. Yet to have a situation whereby the citizens have come forward to complain that some persons were brutalized by the police, that some persons were killed in an extrajudicial manner by the police, and the government of the day set up a panel to look into their complaints without doing anything. That's constitutional infraction. That we do respect the highest echelon of insensitivity and the responsibility on the part of the government of Enugu State. And they believe that, as usual, that after the NSAS panel, that inflicting harm and embarking on all forms of extrajudicial killing. But because they feel that their interest is protected, because they believe that, of course, they have retinue of policemen and even soldiers at their beck and call who protect them, that the interest of the commoner is of less importance. Because they feel that maybe some of these men are, maybe to a great extent, trying to ensure that there is a level of sanity in the society, they now allow them to get away with whatever they do in a society, which is unfortunate. Which is at variance with the oath of office that most of these leaders took before they ascended the seat of government.
Some people, say that he was actually looking rough. And I'm beginning to ask the question, how would you say that artists and entertainers in Nigeria, should be protected in terms of their safety in this type of volatile environment? Do you think looking rough should, warrant anything that has to do with killing of a civilian?
That's an interesting one, because we will soon have a situation whereby people, in fact, it's already playing out in the country. People are being profiled based on their appearance. I know one should dress the way one would like to be addressed, but you should also appreciate that there are some professions for some professions and occupations that go hand in glove with some forms of dressing. And as an artist, as an organic artist, the disease Iboja has always been known to. He's a well-known fellow. Moreover, if you claim that the reason behind his ordeal had to do with had to do with his appearance, you shouldn't have allowed him come close to the anti-court unit in the first instance. You should have told him, "Come on, Mr. Boja. We wanted you to perform for us, but we don't love the way. Please go back, go and change." But you allowed him. You are dancing to this thing. You saw the officers celebrating that. So it has nothing to do with his appearance. This is just some of the flimsy excuses. And let me even say something. If you go to some civilized nations, well-trained police officers, no matter how responsible you may look, if you're a criminal, they will know. They may not, have any evidence to lay their hands on. In fact, well-seasoned police officers, even here in Nigeria, maybe while executing their duties, mere looking at you, they can assess you psychologically to know if you have something, if you have a question to answer. Not necessarily going by your appearance. That's why at times, if you see a well-experienced police officer, you don't need to go about searching the vehicle of, even though it falls within the realm of their powers, the powers which they will, going by the position of the constitution and the police appealing demeanor, and whereas some of these haggard-looking men and women, some of these men and women who look very dangerous, especially, most of them don't even have any nefarious attributes that they're associated with. But that's the irony of life. Because of their appearance, they're like, this young man is very hefty, no, he has something, this must be a bad guy because he's well built. Whereas the other young man who is in suit may actually be the dangerous person. That is, in fact, when you meet a criminal, a criminal that is well lettered, he's a very dangerous criminal because he will be in a better position appearance.
All right, Barrister, many thanks for your time. We truly appreciate. We'll just leave it here and continue following up with the updates. So many persons have commended the governor with the way and manner that he responded quickly, visiting the family. We know there were youths that also protested.
Nature TV, and if you just joined us, we've been having Nature TV, and if you just joined us, we've been having different discussion about what's happening around us this morning. You can go on all our social media platforms, check.
The IMF had advised, which other presidents did not do. And even when they listen, they take it with a pinch of salt. They don't go the whole hog. But it's quite shocking. Since 1999 up until this particular administration, there hasn't been any government of Nigeria that has increased fuel by over 450%. Just under 15 months of its administration. And then you wonder really, is this the right thing to do? Are we on the right track? Every now and then you hear, oh, you know what, these are our baby steps. We should take these baby steps and move forward. That this is the only way we could move forward. And then you also see things
bilateral relationships and external financing. And it's hard to actually find. So you ask yourself, has it really, are we, just like your question, are we really on the right track? Are we getting the right advice? Are we depending too much on these institutions? And I think to a large extent, I think we are. A number of countries over and the World Bank and IMF have said to us, oh, be patient. We're going to see light at the end of the tunnel. It's been 18 months into this administration, or even longer. And the average person cannot say, I see the light, or cannot even say, okay, this is when this hardship is going to end. And so you ask yourself, how much of a prize are we used? The World Bank wants to see, prosperity in terms of, Nigerians being able to achieve as a people. They want to see the youth, they want to see women, they want to see disabled, they want to see, those vulnerable groups rise from where they are today to a level where they can be at least self-sustainable. The IMF, wants to see Nigeria's economy stabilize. They want to see. So, we also have to be sincere. We also have to be transparent and open and honest with ourselves that we want to see these things happen. If we sabotage them, it could take 50 years. The question now is, do we have that kind of time? Nigerians, you and I want to see things happening tomorrow. We want to see, okay, now, like I said, 18 months we have removed subsidy, even though it's neither here nor there. But we have been told that we've saved about 2-point-something, is it $1 million or billion naira? Where has that money gone to? So we have
and Dangote revealed certain things that were quite shocking. I mean, every now and then you hear news and stories and you feel that we're getting there. Because when,
inside our tank, it's costing me money. Every day, if I will be able to collect the naira, I can actually charge somebody 32% in interest. So right now, that's what I'm losing. And you are talking about 500 billion. We don't print money, but the issue is that if they come and collect,
Because you cannot run that level of cabalism without the presidency.
Well, that's the million naira question.
Okay, maybe you can hazard a guess.
Yeah. I mean, the scenario is, I mean, it's actually laid bare for all of us to see, right? It all depends on what judgment or interpretation you now give. Suddenly, like I said, here is fuel. You can get it for less. It's better quality, it's local, there's zero importation or landing costs,
yes,
except from the crude oil.
IMF and World Bank. How would you say Nigeria can strike a balance between economic policy for Nigeria?
Well, I think today Nigeria isn't doing badly when it comes to their relationship qualify for IDA loans, and most IDA loans are either interest-free or have a very, very small concession interest in. On the IMF side, they have what they call, I think it's called the poverty reduction, something, you know, almost their own equivalent of the World Bank's IDA. And countries have to qualify for that in order to draw down. Nigeria qualifies for the IDA loan, but doesn't qualify for the World Bank, for the IMF equivalent of it. And so that's why what we're taking from the IMF is about 1.3 billion. But for the World Bank, where we qualify with a 1% or 0% or some, not even more than 1.4% overall per annum. So we draw more from there than from the IMF. We take the IMF advice and we implement their advice, which is possibly, probably where we are today, or the situation we are in today. But we don't take a lot of their money. We do more on the IDA side. So,
flagged off the construction of the 44.8-kilometer Ama-Eke Obeiwolo-Olo Umulokba Road with a spur to Agubowa. Performing the flag-off ceremony at Udi local government area.